Hello, in this video we're going to cover the wall tool. This video is supposed to be a supplement to the lectures that I do in class. So during the week when you're working on your assignments, you can refer back to these videos for a reminder as to how to use these tools. So let's get started. The walls. When you select the wall tool, we get the options bar updated, and we also have the properties activated with different wall types. Okay, so let's just pick any wall right now. We're going to pick the exterior brick on metal stud. And the first thing we need to do is select your wall type, and then let's look at the options here. Under the height, the default is the unconnected, which means that you can tell it at whatever height you want, 10 feet, 14 feet, 15 feet, whatever height you want. Or we can tell it go up to level 2. And whatever the level we have set, that's the height that it's going to go up to. Next thing we're going to look at is the location line. For this example, the brick, we're going to use the finish face exterior. And we're going to use the chain option checked or turned on. Over here on our sketch options or sketch tools, we have line, rectangle, and a bunch of other different shapes. So I'm going to show one by one to see how that works. Okay, so you're just going to start, pick a point somewhere, and then just drag your mouse. As you're dragging your mouse, you notice that the dimension changes. And notice that if I go up or down, I start drawing the wall at an angle. You can, if you want to just draw horizontally or vertically, you press the Shift key on the keyboard. There you go, Shift. So it doesn't matter which way you move the mouse, it's going to go horizontally or vertically. All right, so I'm just going to click, 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 and then terminate right there, and then escape. Okay, so I've got my walls. Now, I'm doing a brick wall, but I don't see any detail on my brick. That's because down over here, I need to change the detail level. So I click on here, I want to select Fine. So now I see my details. But right here, I'm supposed to have double lines, and I don't see it. That's because of the line weight. You can turn off the line weight over here on the top. So thin lines right here. Click. Notice that all the different line weights go away and everything is thin lines. Now I see all my details. Okay, so let me just close this by dragging it right there. That didn't work. Okay, so I'm gonna use modify and trim. Click one, twice, and I can clean up that corner. Okay, so I've got my exterior walls, and notice as I look around, I'm orbiting around my little building here, and I'm doing that by using the Shift key on the keyboard and then pressing the middle mouse button or the wheel, pressing it down and then dragging the mouse. Okay, up or down, we can do it that way. I'm still having the Shift key and the middle mouse pressed, and that's how I'm able to orbit. Another thing we need to look at is the visual style. Right now it's set to hidden. We have all these different ones, and usually it would be this one or shaded. In the shaded view, we see a little bit more color of the materials that we're going to use. Okay, so that was the exterior wall. I'm going to go back to my level 1 plan, double click, and I'm in my plan. Okay, I'm going to go back to wall right here, and I'm going to select an interior wall. Just going to scroll down and just select this one. Now here again, different ways of creating walls. You can just eyeball it and just pick somewhere, here to here, and escape, and then I'm going to do it again from here to here and escape. Okay, now notice that when I click, I get my temporary dimensions over here. When I click on a wall, it doesn't matter which wall it is, I'm going to get some temporary dimensions. And right now the default for my temporary dimension is set to the center line of walls. Notice that? I'm going to change that. I'm going to go to Manage tab, and then I'm going to go to Additional Settings, and then Temporary Dimensions down over here. I want to select under Walls, I want to select Faces. Let's do Faces of Core and see what that happens. And then on the Doors and Windows, I want to select Openings. And then say OK. So now, here we go. When I select a wall, any wall, the temporary dimension is lining up with the core face, which in this case is the stud face. Up there and over here as well. Now remember, these temporary dimensions, we have these little blue bubbles that I call. If you click on it one time, it jumps to the next face. Click on it again, center, or there. So because I changed the setting for wall core, and it's only cycling through the exterior face, the center, and the interior face of a wall stud. Let me change this back to Additional Settings, Temporary Dimensions, and then just do Faces, and let's see what that does. So I'm going to click on that wall, and again it's lining up with the face of the stud. But if I cycle through here, click, center, center, okay, it's doing the same thing with the stud. What about over here on this side? Click once, twice, okay, it's doing the exact same thing. Another way to do it is instead of clicking, you can drag to the line that you want to go to. Okay, that's another option. So if I wanted to move this wall, I can use my temporary dimensions. So from the outside face to the inside face on my stud, let's say I want 11 feet. 11, enter. So now I have 11 foot exactly. Same thing with the exterior walls. If I select this and I want my temporary dimension to be from outside of brick to outside of brick, I can just grab and drag that point until it lines up with this wall, and then same thing on this one, click and drag over to that point. I've got 37. So let's say I wanted that to be 35 feet. Remember, Revit's the distance, the default distance is, or default units is feet. So if I want 35 feet, all I have to do is type 35 and then enter. It knows it's feet, so I don't have to do the little apostrophe symbol for feet. You do have to use the quotation symbol for inches. For example, if I wanted 36 space 6 inches, that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to do 35 space and then just 4, enter, and it knows it's 35 feet 4 inches. So keep that in mind. You can move a lot faster doing it that way. Okay, so again, I've got my temporary dimensions lining up, and it looks like it's lining up right here with the inside face of the sheetrock, and same thing over here. You notice that right there. So if I click once, it'll cycle to the other side, click again to the center. But if I just want to click and drag it to whatever face I want, I can do that. If I want to do it to the stud, I can hover here and then press tab. Notice that it cycles through the wall, and whenever that face highlights, then I let go, and now it's lined up with the stud wall. Same thing over here, click and drag and move it to whatever face I want. So let's say I want that to be 10 foot 6. 10 space bar 6, enter. There we go. Okay, that's the end of part 1, and I will continue the lesson in the next video.